Imagine you've just bought your dream home, but a few months later, you realize you made a mistake, costing you thousands. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As a real estate professional, I've seen buyers overpay by $20,000 because they didn't understand the market. Today, we're diving into 9 common real estate mistakes buyers often learn about too late. From budgeting blunders to overlooking red flags, we're going to cover it all. Let's check it out. Now that we've set the stage, let's talk money. You might be thinking, I need to save up a massive down payment before I can even think about buying a house. But hold on a second. What if I told you this common belief could actually be holding you back? Let's start with a big misconception. The idea that you need a 20% down payment to buy a home. I've seen so many first-time buyers put off their dreams of home ownership because they're trying to save up a huge sum of money. But here's the truth. According to the National Association of Realtors, the average down payment for first-time home buyers is only around 6%. That's a game changer, right? Darren Robinson from Northern Virginia Home Pro says, rather than putting the money into rent each month, first-time home buyers who dream of home ownership should talk to a mortgage professional. They should talk to them about their options. Many loans can be done with just 3% down, and several lenders offer loans with 0 down payment options. Of course, there is a catch. You might need to pay for private mortgage insurance, but it could still be worth it if it gets you into homes sooner than later. Now let's talk about another financial blunder, shopping at the top end of your budget. It's tempting, I know. You want the best house that you can afford, but here's the thing. Just because you can technically afford it doesn't mean it's a smart move. Pete Everine from Utopia Management warns, by shopping at the top range that you qualify for, you miss out on the bargain opportunities. He suggests aiming for 20% lower than what you want to spend. This opens up more options and gives you some financial wiggle room. Speaking of wiggle room, let's talk about the unexpected expenses of home ownership. You know those surprises, plumbing issues, or the sudden need for a new furnace. Yeah, those can really put a dent in your wallet if you're not prepared. That's why it's crucial to be protected and to not blow all your savings on the down payment. Another helpful tip is to make sure your agent negotiates a home warranty in your behalf. Having a home warranty and keeping an emergency fund can help protect you from some of those uh-oh moments. Now, here's something that might surprise you. Your credit score can make or break your chances of getting approved for a loan. At a minimum, you need around a 615 credit score to even apply for a loan. And realize your credit score has a direct impact on your interest rate. To put yourself in the best financial position possible when you buy your home, make sure you work to improve your credit score today. Here's a pro tip from Collecting Sense. Often, bad credit items can be rectified and removed by effective communication with the debtor. But that can only happen if you know about the item in the first place. So, my recommendation is check your credit score, no matter how confident you are that it's pristine. What does that all mean for you? It means that before you start house hunting, you need to get your financial ducks in a row. Check your credit score. Talk to a mortgage professional about your down payment options and make sure that you're budgeting for more than just the purchase price. Remember, buying a house is probably the biggest purchase you'll ever make. Don't let these common financial mistakes trip you up. By being aware of these pitfalls, you're already one step ahead of the game. And trust me, your future self will thank you for it. So we've covered the money side of things, but what about the actual house hunt? Let me tell you, this is where things can get tricky. You might think you're ready to spot the perfect home, but there are some sneaky pitfalls that can trip even up the most savvy buyers. Picture this. You walk into a house and bam, you're blown away by the shiny new appliances and the gorgeous granite countertops. But hold on a second. Are you falling for the flashy stuff while missing the bigger picture? Brian K. Lewis from Compass warns, it's important not to be seduced by the icing on the cake and focus rather on the substance of the home, the quality of the construction, and the level of finishes. He's right on the money. I've seen buyers get starry-eyed over stainless steel fridges, completely overlooking major issues like outdated wiring or a crumbling foundation. Here's a pro tip. Look beyond the surface. Sure, the kitchen might look like it's straight out of a magazine, but what about the stuff you can't see? Naomi Bitterman from Warburg Realty points out that buyers often ignore important details in the home, such as whether the electric is up to code, the condition of the roof, the hot water tank, or even the boiler. These might not be the sexiest things to dive into, but they're crucial. Now, let's talk about another common mistake. Passing on great homes early in your search. You know that feeling when you see an amazing house right off the bat, but you think, nah, there's going to be something better out there, and I just started my search. Lisa from Warburg Realty says, some clients pass over ideal properties early on in the search process, hoping they'll find something better. This strategy almost never works. I've seen it happen to buyers too. Buyers end up kicking themselves later on when they realize the first house was actually the best one. But here's where it gets really interesting. You might think you're being smart by doing all your research online before hitting the pavement. After all, those listing photos look amazing, right? Well, not so fast. Scott Dollarby from Real New York cautions against becoming obsessed with that one listing they found on the internet. He's got a point. Those online photos, they can be deceiving. I've had clients walk into houses they thought would be perfect, only to find out they look nothing like the pictures. So what does this all mean for you? It means you need to keep an open mind and look beyond the surface. Don't get hung up on one particular house that you saw online, and most importantly, consider the big picture. Gerard Marino puts it perfectly. Buyers often forget that they'll most likely sell their home at some point. Most everything can be fixed, but location cannot. He's absolutely right. You might be able to update the kitchen. You might be able to fix the roof, but you cannot pick up your house and move it to a better neighborhood. Remember, buying a house isn't just about finding a place to live right now. It's all about making a smart investment for your future. So when you're out there house hunting, keep these tips in mind. Look past the shiny stuff. Don't dismiss the great options too quickly, and always consider the location. Trust me, your future self will be thankful that you did. Now that we've covered the house hunting hazards, let's talk about something that trips up a lot of buyers, the actual process of buying a home. You might think it's as simple as finding a house you like and simply moving in, but trust me, there's a lot more to it than just that. I recently helped a client sell a property. The buyer of that home came in and said, I don't want an agent, nor do I want an agent to represent me. I said, no problem. Here's your buyer's due diligence checklist of things that you should be aware of as a buyer when you purchase this home. He went forward looking at the list, but really didn't understand it, didn't ask any questions, and actually waived all of his due diligence. I would never suggest a buyer forgoes the important step of doing a detailed due diligence in the home purchase. Here's the thing. That list was just the tip of the iceberg. And it's that way for any home. There's so much more to the process than many first-time buyers realize. Kyle Hiscock, a real estate expert from Rochester, put it perfectly. Undoubtedly, the most common first-time home buyer mistake I see is buyers not having an understanding of the home buying process. So what does that mean for you? It means that you need to educate yourself on the entire process before you even start looking at houses. And remember, the best way to do that is get connected to a trusted and competent real estate agent. They will give you the guidance on what to expect and connect you with great partners whom you can collaborate with through the entire transaction so that you can achieve your home ownership goals. Now, let's talk about a big misconception that can cost you your dream home. Thinking that every price is negotiable. You guys, this is a huge mistake. While prices are negotiable, Jared Barnett from Compass warns sometimes it's priced with room for negotiations, but other times it's priced just right to get multiple offers, potentially going over the asking price. I've seen buyers lose out on great properties because they thought they could always negotiate the price down. In today's market, that's not always the case. Some homes are priced to spark bidding wars. And if you go in with a lowball offer, you might find yourself out of the running entirely. So here's a pro tip. Work with a broker or experienced agent. They can help you give information about the home pricing. I know. You might think you can save money by going at it alone, but let me tell you, that's rarely the case. Martin Eden, who works in Manhattan and Brooklyn, says, buyers who come direct without a broker almost always overpay. Think about it this way. Would you represent yourself in court? Probably not. So why would you try to navigate one of the biggest, most difficult transactions of your life? Now that we've covered the major pitfalls, let's talk about how to protect your investment. You might be thinking, wow, there's so much that can go wrong. And while that is true, don't worry. I'm here to help you navigate this journey. Remember when I mentioned that the buyer who didn't want the agent? Well, he ended up making some very costly mistakes. That's why it's crucial to have an expert guidance. As Kyle Hiscock said, understanding the home buying process is key to avoiding first-time buyer errors. So what's the path forward? First, do your homework. Research the market, connect with a trusted real estate professional, get pre-approved for a mortgage, and understand your budget. Don't just focus on the down payment. Think about the ongoing costs too. Second, be flexible. Pete Evering suggests looking for homes 20% below your maximum budget. This gives you the room you will want for unexpected expenses and potential bargains. Lastly, trust your instincts, but verify. If a deal seems too good to be true, then it probably is. Always get a professional inspection and don't ignore the red flags. And now that you're ready to move this process along to buy your next home in the right way, check out this video where I will show you exactly how you can buy a home in the next 90 days.